All right, good morning, everybody. The 49ers practicing right now in Minnesota. I'm having a lot of fun tracking it, and I figured that I'd share a show with you guys just so we could talk about how fast Danny Gray is, share a few videos that are coming out there from the stands in Minnesota, and just discuss how the 49ers continue to develop here throughout training camp. So it's going to be a fun live, probably going to be a little bit more relaxed than our normal ones, not as scripted, obviously, because we have the 49ers currently practicing as we speak from the Vikings facility in Eagan, Minnesota. So I'm compiling just some good reporting out there from practice, some good pictures. I'll put them up on the screen. We'll go through what's going on at the facility just to get you guys caught up to date. We started off, Matt Mayoko here, nice picture. Vikings coach Kevin O'Connell and 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan chat. The man in the middle right there, that is none other than Mike Shanahan, looking like he wants to get back into coaching. So Mike in the building today, 49ers and the Vikings practicing. Cam Inman then had this picture of Kirk Cousins and Mike Shanahan. Shanahan, of course, worked with Kirk Cousins, drafted Kirk Cousins back to Washington in 2012. So maybe Mike Shanahan, he wants to be back at ground zero for this practice. Obviously, as his son coaching one team, he's worked with the 49ers. But he's got the prototype Shanahan QB, Kirk Cousins. No, I'm just kidding. Not the prototype. I think the prototype, as far as skill set goes, is probably Trey Lance, because you go back to Elway, Young. You want mobility as well. But obviously the Shanahans do have an affinity for Kirk Cousins. Moving forward, this is from Brad, who runs the SF Niners fan account. This was early in practice. Kyle Juszczyk warming up, throwing into the ground. Now, I talked so much about Kyle Juszczyk in the piece that I wrote yesterday. Kyle played quarterback, and he won a game for his JV high school team, but this throw that skipped it to the ground, working with the 49ers running backs, not exactly NFL material. Cam Inman on Instagram. I want to turn down the sound here. Why don't I hit? There we go. Cam Inman on Instagram has the reel of the 49ers showing up to practice today. So there you have. Charlie Werner loves to walk around with a shirt on. Charlie Werner did a press conference last year without his shirt on, like an entire press conference. So you saw him there. A little peek at Dante Johnson. His mother, who passed away last year, it would have been her birthday today, her 60th birthday. So rest in peace to Dante's mom. There's the 49ers stretching, and there's Kirk Cousins speaking to the media. Steph Sanchez doing a good job over at the 49ers-Vikings practice. Reported to the 49ers cornerbacks. The young ones were struggling against the Vikings receivers, some things during one-on-ones. That is something that we definitely expected with Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen on the other side. And then, here we got to make this a little bit bigger. We'll put this on the full screen. This is so far what I think the video of camp, because you've got, or of Vikings 49ers practice. You have Kirk Cousins working against Fred Warner in the defense here on the bottom. But just look at the top right now. Danny Gray is just going to blast by and cook Patrick Peterson right there. And Trey Lance threw this ball. Obviously, Gray had to wait for it, but Gray's running like a 4.2. I'm just kidding. Probably 4.3. But we'll watch this one more time, because this has been the story so far of the day, just how fast Danny Gray is. He's going to come here out of the top left corner of your screen. And Patrick Peterson's 32 now. Former All-Pro cornerback, right? No chance there during 7-on-7s against Danny Gray. Supposedly, Danny Gray caught another deep one a little bit later. And then we had this completion from Lance to Juwan Jennings over the middle. Doesn't look like Peterson put any effort in there. Remember, it is 7-on-7s. This is from Brad, SF Niners. So 7-on-7s is not going to be, highest intensity, especially for a veteran like Peterson, but still worth checking out. And this is Kinlaw getting the work. Kinlaw taking out Jesse Davis. That is Minnesota veteran guard. He has, I think, he's listed at the top of the depth chart. I'm not sure if he's going to be a starter yet this year, but you see Kinlaw just on the bull rush manhandling him. So that's what we have so far from 49ers Vikings joint practices. There you got O'Connell, Shanahan, both Shanahan squared, Mike and Kyle Shanahan today. So 49ers and Vikings continue to practice. I'm continue to monitor Twitter for more updates and analysis. I guess got to talk about Danny Gray, though. Danny Gray, I talked about this in my article on The Athletic the other day. Maybe that's worth pulling up here really quickly. Why don't we type this in here? David Lombardi, The Athletic. I mean, when stuff is developing, you guys get these shows where you just kind of see me working, kind of working off on the side. And this is kind of cool because I'm actually at my computer during these practices. So we get to do the reaction and the analysis even more live than we normally get to do. So the other day I wrote in this piece right here, why don't I pop it open on the screen? Daniel Brunskill's hamstring strain, more pressure on the 49ers interior O-line. Well, one thing that can take pressure off a line is a receiver who can get downfield and open in less than 3 seconds. And that's exactly what Danny Gray did the other day. And I wrote about it in this piece. And, I think we could go to my Twitter probably and see the exact excerpt that I posted up there. Here, let's find this. David Lombardi, Twitter. Oh, here it is. All right, I'm opening up the screen one more time. Maybe make this a little bit bigger for you. Perhaps the most notable aspect of Danny Gray's 76-yard touchdown against the Green Bay Packers, Trey Lance released that football only 2.5 seconds after the snap. That's a remarkably quick split for a long throw and a testament to Gray's blazing speed. Deep passes can take over 3 seconds to develop, but Gray sprung open on the go route quickly enough to render the play's pass protection adequate. I cannot emphasize enough how important speed is given the 49ers set of circumstances talent-wise on offense. Obviously, Trey Lance has a big arm. He can uncork it downfield. Obviously, he's going to run around a bit. You're going to see some playground-style football, so you're going to want him to be able to uncork it downfield, especially on an improvisational basis when plays do break down. But the general truth of the 49ers offensive line is that these guys are better run blockers than they are pass protectors. And if that's the case, you're going to see the tackles get backed up and maybe even the interior offensive line get backed up into the QB. Well, if you have slow developing plays downfield, it's going to be trouble. But if you have Danny Gray able to bolt by opposing defensive backs and get open so that Trey could unleash deep balls to him, with a snap to release time of 2.5 seconds, that can make poor pass protection or mediocre pass protection adequate, right? And to me, that's extremely, extremely important to emphasize. That's changed this year. The 49ers didn't have that before. They didn't have the type of speed that Danny Gray brings to the table before. One more look. Danny Gray toward the end of this video. This is him against Patrick Peterson right now, bolting out of the top left. There you see him. Runs right by 7. That's vet cornerback Patrick Peterson, even waits for Trey Lance's pass is the end zone. Now, I see a lot of people being ridiculously overcritical of the pass, and you're going to see it, show up here again in a second. Guys, Patrick Mahomes consistently underthrew Tyreek Hill because Tyreek Hill was so damn fast. And then he figured it out toward the end of the time with Hill. It's going to be hard not to overthrow somebody as fast as Danny Gray because he's a lot faster, I think, even than Christian Watson, who Lance was used to throwing to at North Dakota State. So if he's open by that much, the underthrow is not going to hurt. And I think that if you give Trey Lance some time, he's going to find out ways not to overthrow Danny Gray. Now, the main thing that bugs me is that this is not Madden, right? Everybody's going to act like this is Madden football, where you just hit a button and you automatically lead the receiver. He doesn't break stride, and it's going to be an easy touchdown. This is actual human football, right? There was no pass rush there, so that's something that's going to come in on 11 on 11s. But still, you're dealing with chaos around you, right? So normally pass rush, if it's full team stuff, normally you're dealing with, you're wearing pads, irregular routes because of, different coverage challenges. It's not as easy as just pressing a button and leading a wide receiver and having him sprint to the end zone. So if you hit the receiver on the go route, you've won way more than half the battle. So again, let's just stop expecting everything to be perfect rookie level on Madden. This is not a video game. If you've ever been down on the sideline of a football field, you'll see how much chaos there is, and you'll find it miraculous that even a 5-yard out is completed, given the fact that there's pads and face masks and big bodies flying around. So I have no issue with that Trey Lance throw. I mean, yeah, we'll note that Danny Gray slowed down a bit, but I think we should be looking at it in terms of, oh my God, Danny Gray absolutely cooked Patrick Peterson on that one. All right, so let's check the Twitter machine, see if there are any updates coming from Minnesota right now. They might be done with team drills at this point. They started at a really odd time at 9:58 a.m. Central Time, so 7:58 a.m. Pacific Time. Just seems like a very attention to detail sort of thing to do. Maybe the Vikings and the 49ers agreed on that. Kyle started practice last year, I believe, at like 10:17 a.m. his training camp practices, but he moved to a more square number this year, 10:25 a.m. That's what the 49ers had always done up until last season. And it was just because he said that that's how the schedule worked out for the 49ers. They were like so intense about divvying up the minutes that it worked out to 10:17 a.m. was when it started. So I wonder if that's why the Vikings wanted to start at 9:58 Central today. But they got started on time. Those of you who are just joining, I could take you back through some of what we have covered already for practice today. So I will make this a little bit bigger. This is from Matt Mayoko, Kevin O'Connell, and Kyle Shanahan chat before their teams met today. That's Mike Shanahan in the middle. Cam Inman, that's Mike Shanahan with the quarterback that he drafted the same year as he drafted Robert Griffin III to Washington, Kirk Cousins. So obviously you have the Shanahan-Cousins storyline. This is for Brad at the SF Niners. He's going with the Kyle Juszczyk throw into the dirt. They talked about Kyle yesterday. Maybe I'll pop that open. Why don't we do that right now? Why don't we go to my page on The Athletic? I had a nice article on Kyle yesterday. He was a quarterback back in high school. And, and this was early high school. This was JV high school. He drew up a play on the dirt with like 5 seconds left and threw a game-winning touchdown as a skinny little freshman on the JV team. But maybe his arm was better than it is now that he's been focusing on fullback. But Kyle now entering his 10th season. So if you go into the chat section and click on this link, it's Kyle Juszczyk, 49ers fullback entering his 10th season. I go through some crazy injury stuff that hospitalized him in 2017, his first season with the 49ers, and how he played through that and how Kyle has managed to flex his longevity to be with the 49ers for 10 seasons now. So, by the way, those of you just on the show right now, make sure you're subbing to The Athletic. This is a cool article on Kyle Juszczyk background you won't get anywhere else. And, of course, sub to this channel. And you can follow along on Twitter at Lombardi himself. 1 second here. I'm just checking to see any update from practice. And we'll go through some more of the coverage from practice, which I think has been good from those who are on the scene. Again, here's Danny Gray. Make this a little bit bigger. These joint practices are cool to watch from a command center because you have 3 fields of stuff going on. Danny Gray just cooking Patrick Peterson on the middle field for the touchdown. All right, so we continue going through stuff. Lance to Jennings, yeah, we saw that. This is my tweet. 49ers have 18 picks now in training camp because George Odom got Kirk Cousins. And with those 18 picks, we have to realize the 49ers only had 11 throughout all of training camp last year. So they have 18 already. Camp's not done yet. And they didn't intercept Justin Herbert a single time in their joint practices against the Chargers. So this is a takeaway generating defense. The secondary, I think, is a lot better than last year. The pass rush, I think, is better. I mean, just consider the fact that the 49ers did not really peak defensively until the back half of last season. In fact, most advanced metrics will tell you it was a bottom half defense over the first half of the year. So the defense that we saw in camp probably more closely resembled that bottom half defense, the defense that played Justin Herbert against the Chargers, than the one that finished the season, right? They finally started pass rushing opposite Nick Bosa late in the season. So once Sansom Ebukam got going, once Jordan Willis, all those guys got going in the back half of the season. I mean, Arden Key got going around week 8, right? The move inside from Eric Armstead was a big deal. That's when you finally saw the full muscle flex of this 49ers defense. And once that did happen, the secondary, I think, was in position to start generating some more turnovers. And I think that maybe that's carried over here into 2022 because the defenses look a lot better to me in training camp than last year. The pass rushes look better. And I don't think this interception number that I put up on the screen lies at all. All right, I have a few more updates here from Twitter. So I'm going to take a look at them really briefly. Welcome, everybody, to the channel. Welcome to our 2022 49ers coverage. Why don't we take a look at what's going on here? Yeah, Nick Zakelj taking snaps at center. That's not a surprise at all. The 49ers, in the day he was drafted, said that he would be a center candidate for the future. And now they're obviously down a center candidate in Daniel Brunskill with a hamstring strain. I don't know if Nick Zakelj's going to make the 53. He might be a practice squad guy. They're going to keep him in the building, almost certainly. But he's smart. I mean, Fordham, he picks stuff up quickly. He's raw, but he picks stuff up quickly. And Zakelj, definitely a player that they're looking at as a potential future center. Welcome to viewer number 500. I believe we're just about to cross the 500 mark. That's some good stuff. All right, hold on. I'm looking at some more content here. What else can I share with you? Sounds like Zadarius Smith just beat Trent Williams to sack Trey Lance in red zone. So you don't hear that very often. Trent Williams getting beat. I wouldn't worry about it. But Zadarius Smith, obviously, good player. Saw him with the Packers for all those years. Now we're seeing him beat Trent Williams and sack him. Stays within the NFC North, does Zadarius Smith. Bosa just had a big tackle against Alexander. Sounds like filming is really limited right now coming from the Vikings facility. So as some footage does come through, maybe we'll share some. Maybe I can answer some questions, make this as interactive as possible while this practice is going on. How's everybody doing this morning, by the way? It's Wednesday. It's 9:49 a.m., 49ers. It's funny. I looked at the clock right now. We got this today, another practice tomorrow, and we have a game on Saturday. Should be fun to kind of just track all of that. I mean, it's a busy stretch for the 49ers. They're going to come home from Minnesota at like 7 a.m. on Sunday morning, and then they play the Texans in Houston the following Thursday. So I'm guessing that the 49ers will take Sunday off because they fly overnight Saturday to Sunday, so they need some rest. Then I'm guessing they'll be back at the facility for practice on Monday, another practice on Tuesday, and I'm pretty sure they're either going to fly after practice Tuesday or on Wednesday to Houston, probably after practice on Tuesday so they can get their walkthrough done on Wednesday. So we're in that 3 games and 13-day stretch right now. I expect the starters to play next Thursday at Houston as far as the game goes, but not on Saturday against the Minnesota Vikings because they're practicing against the Vikings. You're going to see the starters work these two. Looks like we might have some video of Bosa. Yeah, this is from Brad. He's up in the stands, SF Niners fan account. So I'm going to pop this one open on the screen for you. Bosa making a stop on Alexander. I have so many windows open right now, so just give me a couple seconds. Look at this open. Here's Bosa making a stop. Coming relatively unblocked from the weak side. I get it, but I don't know. Somebody whiffed. They had the tight end there trying to block Nick Bosa. Didn't work out too well. Completely whiffed. I don't think there's a tight end in the league that could successfully block Bosa. It's Johnny Munt out of Oregon, 86. Barely got a finger on him. You watch this over and over, you just see how quick Nick Bosa is. Oops. Munt thought he would try to play. I don't know if Munt, I think he knew what the play was. He seemed shocked by how quickly Bosa got around him. Now, I want to slow this down a little bit. Right here. Did Bosa sidestep him? It's like Munt wasn't stepping toward Bosa, which is, funny. But he lets Bosa get in there unencumbered. Yeah, there was a fight at Panthers and Patriots practice. And we have video from Steph Sanchez right here. We have video of Justin Jefferson apparently putting Diamond Lenore into a blender. Let's see. Let's watch. Cousins, I think, at quarterback there. Yeah. There's a flag, too, so it's probably PI. We knew that the young 49ers cornerbacks were in for a test here. Let's see. Top of your screen. Lenore against Jefferson. Oops. A little comeback. Just stopped on a dime. You could see you slow this sucker down. He's going full speed vertical. stops on a dime, throws already in the air, and Lenoir is just tripping over himself to recover. You just have to, at that point, you give up the reception if you're Diamador Lenoir. You have to stay composed, give up the catch, make the tackle, because the yak here is what the truly damaging part of the play is. Learning experiences for the 49ers young corners. They don't have Charvarius Ward out there. They don't have Jason Verrett out there. Emmanuel Mosley only an individual action, even though he's back today, along with Eric Armstead. So it's one of those situations that, it's going to be trial by fire for the 49ers. And that's why you do these joint practices. That's why it's okay to get beat in these joint practices, because it's practice, right? And you want to be tested by strengths from other teams that your team might not have. Now, I'm not saying the 49ers don't have a strength at receiver. They have Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Danny Gray. I'm talking about being the star of this practice. But Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen bring something completely different to the table, right? That is premier wideout play in the National Football League. And the young 49ers corners can learn from that. And, I think they're excited about these joint opportunities. Kirk Cousins, too. He's an efficient distributor of the football. So you get a chance to look at him on the other side. He's been in the league a long, long time. Another update, Kerry Hyder with a sack on Kellen Mond. Everybody just joining, make sure that you're sub to The Athletic. I've got that Kyle Juszczyk piece right here up for you. That's my latest. Talking a lot about the injuries he went through 5 years ago that changed his style of play. And now we are admiring the longevity, 10 years in the National Football League for Kyle Juszczyk. There's a little writing about Danny Gray I had on The Athletic. I'm going to copy and paste this into the chat section. I think you could sign up for $1 a month now to The Athletic. So you can go through that article. It's in the chat section. So the 49ers just went for it on a 4th and 10. Lance dipped his shoulder, evaded the pass rush, moved up in the pocket and hit Deebo Samuel over the middle for 25 yards. And I want to find out who tweeted that so I can credit them. Mike is sending me updates as we go through here, so he's doing a great job. But I need to find out who tweeted that, because everybody gets credit on my show. Doing some good work out there in Minnesota. Drake Jackson with a would-be sack on Kellen Mond. Drake, that's another guy I want to talk about. Drake, to me, he looked completely – so that was from David Lichty. Lichty, I hope I pronounced his name right, on Twitter, the 4th and 10 report. The Drake Jackson debut, and then that was Steph Sanchez on the Drake Jackson sack. So Steph Sanchez reported that Drake Jackson sacked Kellen Mond. And, that's perfect timing, because I want to talk about Drake Jackson right now. Drake against the Packers in limited time was, to me, just his potential just popped off the field, because he's got those he's got long arms, obviously, but the limbs are so bendy for a Drake Jackson. And you could tell he's already listening to Bosa. He's already listening to Kasarik about how to win with his hands. There was one rep where he hurried Jordan Love, and he just disabled the tackle with his hands. And to me, that was more impressive than anything he could do athletically right now, backflip, whatever. Because if he could win technically, we know that Drake Jackson has the athleticism. We know he has the bend to do some wild, wild stuff on the football field. But winning technically with the hands, the scissors, that's what makes Bosa so good, is that he's so technically proficient. And that's why I get so excited whenever people talk about Drake Jackson being a sponge, learning so much from those around him, because what a great place to be a sponge, the 49ers D-line room. Not only do you have Bosa, but you have Chris Kasarik. You have other pass rushers who have, gone from raw to very learned with the 49ers, Sansa Mebucom being one of them. Charles Omenihu has picked up so much in such a short period of time. You've got Eric Armstead there. You've got guys who could tell you about rushing outside to in, right? Moving through both. It's one of those where this is a great classroom environment for Drake Jackson. All right, who wants to see the video from the fight? I think somebody probably wants to see the video. Not from the 49ers fight. This is the Athletic's own account tweeted this, so make sure you follow the Athletic on social media. Let's watch the video. I haven't seen this yet from a big brawl in Patriots and Panthers joint practice. I wonder if the 49ers and Vikings will go at it. It wouldn't make Shanahan probably all too happy. But all right, let's watch the brawl. I want to make this big, okay? I haven't seen this yet. Let's go for it. Patriots and Panthers. Oh my God, it's going into the crowd. Oh, the crowd, I'm sure, is loving every bit of this. I mean, you don't always get to see a brawl, but to see it spill over right there into the crowd, that's why. Look at everybody kind of stand up. Look at, there's a fan. Is that a Garoppolo Patriots jersey? Yeah, that's Jimmy Garoppolo over there, number 10. Oh, no. Mac Jones wears 10 for him now, right? Yeah, I guess it's a Mac Jones jersey. That'd have been funny. Jimmy Garoppolo Patriots jersey. Look, he just hops out of the crowd back here, and he's walking over, videotaping. He has to get closer. That's the one thing I noticed. Guy's hustling to get the video. Red hat. One more time. I don't know if you can see my cursor, but he's coming from this part of the crowd. He sees the fight. He's got to get a better angle. He's coming in. And then you got the staffers over here just chilling, bottom of the screen. They're calm as can be. All right. Follow the Athletic on Twitter. They, we have good social media accounts at the Athletic. Good stuff at the fight. Patriots, Panthers practice. Wonder how Baker Mayfield's doing right now. All right, questions. Has Kamoko Toure been the best pass rusher at camp? No, the best pass rusher at camp has been Nick Bosa. Toure's good. I mean, Toure has 5.5 sacks to his name from last year. But the way that he played the run against the Green Bay Packers is what really stood out to me. He's only 248 pounds, so Toure is a pure speed rusher, right? He's not going to be a power guy at the line of scrimmage. But the 49ers, they needed somebody to eat up some snaps because Drake Jackson got the stinger. They weren't playing Armstead, Bosa, Ebicom. They weren't suited up. So they needed somebody to eat the snaps. Toure gives him 48 snaps, and he plays hard as hell. And he has 3 run stops where he just uses his get off and his speed to sneak by tackles, guards, you name it, offensive linemen, and make stops, mostly behind the line of scrimmage, including on 4th down to really win the game for the 49ers. That, to me, stood out. I mean, you can keep this guy on the field for 3 downs. Not like the 49ers will need to. They've got a lot of depth there. But Toure can play. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch him as part of a deep, deep stable of a unit this year. Because he had 5.5 sacks for Indianapolis working with DeForest Buckner last year. Matt Barrows has an update. What did Matt Barrows say? My colleague. Oh, he's talking about the practice wrapping up. Good stuff from Barrows. All right, let me get this up from Matt Barrows. Let me get this up on the screen for you. We're gonna share Matt Barrows reporting. Move this over here. All right. Lance went 11 of 17. Why don't I put this up here? Trey Lance, 11 of 17 at 49ers-Vikings joint practice. All right, here's Matt Barrows. 49ers first joint practice. Oh, well, Matt, okay, we're going to go with Matt, 11 of 18. I trust Matt's reporting here, but I have to amend this. I put 11 of 17. So we're going to go Lance, 11 of 18. Save it. Put it up. All right. 49ers first joint practice is wrapping up. Matt Barrows is Trey Lance at 11 of 18 with a spike. So 11 to 7. Okay, I get it. His best play came on 4th and long in a 2-minute drill when he scrambled and found Deebo Samuel for the first down. Lance had some time to throw early, but that quickly dissolved. Had him getting touch sacked 4 times. So I'm going to quote tweet this. Sounds like the 49ers pass protection remains an issue to watch, which is not surprising at all. That's my analysis of what Matt said. Mike shared some more stuff, so I'm going to go back here up on the iMessage was under steady pressure. And so it sounds like Trey had kind of a mixed day, a little bit of inconsistency. I mean, 11 of 17, as I'm going to log this here in a second, is 65%. So that's, I mean, it's better. That's right around where his move the ball completion percentage had been during practice. He'd been 52, 53% overall, 65% overall. So it sounds like there were a couple accuracy issues, but it sounds like a decent day. But it sounds like the 49ers offensive line remains an issue, which, again, I just tweeted, is not surprising whatsoever. I do wonder if the 49ers are going to be streaming their presser. That's something I need to check out right now, because if they are, I'm going to bolt. I'm just seeing what all the reporters are saying, though, about this practice. So Barrows said that. Branch said 11 of 17. No major offensive fireworks in the 49ers, according to Cam Inman. Lance favored his top three guys, Ayuk, Debo, and Kittle, according to Cam. Vikings defense picked on the 49ers or the Vikings offense picked on the 49ers backup DBs. I mean, color me shocked. This is exactly what we expected, right? But George Odom did intercept Kirk Cousins. He did allow a touchdown to Justin Jefferson. So it sounds like practice went exactly as we could have predicted, with nothing like too, shocking as far as a highlight reel, which to me means that the touchdown to Danny Gray is probably your highlight play. Let me go to the 49ers YouTube. I want to see if they'll be streaming these press conferences. I'm going to go back through a couple of the highlights for you here in a second. Just give me a little bit of time. All right, so why don't we watch the highlight from today now that most of you guys are here. First off, you got Mike Shanahan with Kirk Cousins. Matt Mayoko, that was from Cam Inman. Credit Cam Inman for this picture. Great job, Cam. Mike Shanahan rocking the gray hair. I'm going to get going here in a second because Kyle's about to start talking. But you have Kyle with Kevin O'Connell. And then obviously we have our highlight of the day, which is not that. It's right here. This is from Steph Sanchez. What a great video. You have this kind of encapsulates the joint session. You have Cousins and the Vikings working on the bottom, and just watch Danny Gray here, middle field, blast out of nowhere and cook Patrick Peterson. Just cooked him. Oh, my God. Danny Gray, star of the show, at least during 7-on-7s there. All right, everybody, like the video, sub to the channel, sub to The Athletic, do it all. Hope you enjoyed the live coverage. We'll talk to you all soon. I'm going to go check out what Kyle has to say. Everybody take care. Thanks for joining.